This is the Theodore Payne Foundation for Wildflowers and Native Plants. We're a nonprofit native plant nursery of California native plants and wildflowers. We've been here for 52 years in this gorgeous setting on 22 acres. We give classes year-round for adults and children, and we have a hiking trail, bookstore, art gallery, and then, of course, the heart of the operation are the native plants. Over 800 different types of California native plants year-round, and so they're all the plants that one would need to have a butterfly and caterpillar-friendly garden. This plant is a Sphaeralcea ambigua that is known as an apricot mallow for the common name. And this is a wonderful plant because not only does it have gorgeous apricot flowers for which it's named, but it is also the host plant. That means the plant whose leaves feed the caterpillars of gray hairstreak and West Coast ladies. When you plant one of these in your garden, you're attracting not only the insects that need the pollen, but you are giving a place for those butterflies to lay their eggs. This is the Kaliandra californica, known as the California fairy duster. And this plant is wonderful because it blooms nearly year-round with these little red paintbrush type flowers. And when the bees or any other type of pollinators come, like hummingbirds, and pollinate it, then the pollinated flowers turn into these wonderful seed pods. And then these pods burst open and scatter their seeds as far as 5 feet. This plant, this California fairy duster, blooms nearly year-round, and so it provides a source of nectar nearly year-round for the various types of butterflies that we have in Southern California. And so any round flower is going to be a particularly good flower for a butterfly or a moth. The butterflies come in here, they pollinate each of the individual little flowers, and then once those flowers are pollinated, the flowers make seeds for birds. Don't deadhead the flower. Leave that flower on the plant because the seed that is forming from the flower is what's going to feed the seed-eating birds later on in the year. This is Encilia californica, the bush sunflower. And this is the host plant, that means the food plant for the caterpillars of the fatal meadowlark type of butterfly. And once again, because these are a round landing pad shape for butterflies, they're great for any type of butterfly. Now, caterpillars are important not only because they turn into butterflies, which are pollinators, but because caterpillars are the main food of baby birds. So that's why it's important not only to plant the host plant for the caterpillar so that we can have more butterflies, which are pollinators, but because we need those caterpillars to feed our birds. Bird populations are only 10 to 40% nowadays of what they were in 1970. And birds are hugely important because they give us all sorts of ecosystem types of services like reforestation, watershed protection, natural pest control, no need for pesticides. It's all for free, and they give it to us with beauty and song. You should always look for the trees that had originally been in your area. And so the San Fernando Valley and San Gabriel Valleys used to have woodlands of oak trees. And so those oaks will support the caterpillars of the California sisters. So if you plant the native plants that were originally found in your area, you'll be providing the food that those butterflies need to lay their eggs on. And also, when people think of color in the garden, they oftentimes only think of flowers, but they should think of different colors of leaves and different colors of bark and the textures too. This is a Platanus racemosa, a western sycamore tree, and this is one of the 5 types of leaves that can feed the caterpillars of the western tiger swallowtail. I love it when I see holes in leaves because to me that means that you have life in your garden. Your garden isn't just static, it's a living thing. With California natives, you get everything. I mean, my dream for LA when I'm an old woman is that we will have done the paradigm shift. I mean, and really that's what needs to happen across the planet. planet-wide, people need to plant natives wherever they are, because that's going to bring the butterflies, the birds, all the life back. In Southern California, we're in a water crisis and an extinction crisis. And right now, with the understandable concern over the worst recorded drought in California's history, people are rushing to replace water-thirsty lawns with drought-tolerant plants. What they need to know is that just because a plant is drought-tolerant doesn't mean that it's native and going to support the ecosystem. So if you want to get a twofer, you'll plant not only a drought-tolerant plant, but a native drought-tolerant plant. So when we're looking to swap out our lawn, we should be thinking about not just saving water, but creating habitat.